Hi guys, welcome to another video about my Nurgle army. I showed you Blow Ab in the last one. I'm going to show you my Blight Kings because I mentioned those in this video. As you can see, I've got 10 of them, and I'll show you them individually and go through them. I did 5 of them originally when End Times come out, and then I did another 5 later on when I went back to my Nurgle army and added the Great and Clean one, which I will do a video on as well, so you can see my Great and Clean one model. So some of them are old, some of them are new. Some were entered in Golden Demon at the same time as Blow Ab and managed to get a pin. Some of them haven't been entered, but they are done the same style because it's from my army style. So I'll just pick up and talk about them. So this is actually one of the newer ones I did, but this here is my Blight King. And what I've done here is I followed the how to paint video from Warhammer TV on how to paint Blight Kings. But what I've done is I've changed the armor recipe completely because I didn't want the traditional grey armor. And there's actually an army very, very long time ago, a Nurgle army, which was done in metallics, and then he'd done glazing of yellows and greens to make it look like this blue bottle type effect. And I thought, well, I want to do that. So I took inspiration from somebody from very, very long time ago. I can't remember the name, sorry about that. I think he used to work at GW Bristol. But this here, I decided to paint the armor in Vallejo Air metallics. So it's up from dark, almost like a bolt gun, to chainmail to silver. So I'm going to use chrome, chainmail. It doesn't really matter, but it's a dark, mid-tone, and a light silver. Then what you do is you wash it down with Agrax and black, like normal. So no different to what you'd normally do. And then you highlight it up, and then when it's all silvery and bright and lovely, you then go in and start glazing in things like Biltan green, Scaly green, Castledawny yellow. I think this is a Phonian Camoshade, and you can see here like this bit of orangey rust here. This here is sepia. So sepia's got a really nice colour. It's like a browny yellow, and I really like that. So between Biltan and Euphonian and sepia, those 3 washes to tint and pull all the armour into that spectrum where you get that really nice kind of tarnished look. It looks like green armour from back here, but actually it's painted in silver. Then edge highlighted that. The skin, I've added extra stages from the Warhammer TV video because I wanted the recesses to be more pink. So they've got Druchii Violet, Glazed In, and Caribou Crimson. And I wanted the highlights to be paler, so I've gone up to Pallid Witch. Again, the basing's done the same as part of my army. And all the details on here, the silver, the wood, it's quite a simple one, this one. And then I've got some other models. This is one of the originals from the original unit. And this guy, again, like I wanted to use Nurgle's rot down here on the maggots. I've done the metallics, the staining on the blade. Again, it's the same. The horns on this guy I'm not happy with. They were hard to paint because they've got these weird pitting, and I kind of want to darken the tips. And I on my Great and Clean one, I did do it. I glazed in washes to darken the tips. And I know Byron's been struggling with his War Chanter with doing lines on horns. It's one of those things I've not ventured in. But actually, I was proud of myself with the Great and Clean when I did it. Again, this nice brassy colour, a little bit of greening in here, which is not Nylax, because Nylax doesn't have enough green in it for me. It's too blue. So I wanted it to be more in the green spectrum, so I actually just thinned down, I think it was Scaly Green, it might have been a Jade Green from Vallejo as an equivalent, but it's the old GW Jadey Scaly Green colour. Again, just lots of glazes, lots of highlights. And I mentioned this in the last video, I tend to glaze and wash everything down and then tidy up the highlights because I'm messy. I'm not a very neat painter. And washes, I think, fix things like, they just work magic. One of the more newer ones. So this guy, again, I wanted this. I love this. This thing is his tongue holding up the head. He's the standard bearer in the other unit. Again, it's the same verdigris in here. The armor's done the same. Skin, I've got the little buboes on there. The leather, I believe it's Gore-4 brown and black. Then it's Gore-4 and Gore-4 mix. It's all up through muted. Again, I like my armies to have a little bit of a muted look. I don't like really bright artificial colours. I like my colours to be desaturated, particularly when doing Nurgle, because I think it looks really cool to do them in that kind of drab. But I still want the colour. I still got the red and the green. These colours are very similar, so they don't clash. But I've tried to get these points of jade to draw the eye into the middle of the model. Then you've got this is again one of the newer ones. Again, this is the sanguine base into this is done the same as the Great and Clean one tentacle into your flesh tones, purple and crimson. And I've glossed this. I wanted it to look slimy. I kind of thought if you've got a big like tentacle arm, it's probably going to be a bit sticky. So I went with that. This guy, he's one of the originals. I'll try not to break my models. Again, this is the armor. This armor is a little bit more. You notice it's not as shiny. You see, there is a bit of a difference, and I think because of the older products and when I did it, it's slightly different. But I wanted to get on here the chainmail looking stained, like it's coming from under the armor. It's going to have some horrible stuff in there. I actually quite like this armor effect on this guy. Again, the horns, I haven't done the darkening on the edges. I've kind of painted them in reverse. A little bit of a cheat. But I was saying this to Byron, that if you make them a focal point by doing lines, then people can see it immediately if you don't execute it well. If it isn't about that and it's about something else, for me it's just about this metallic, then you can get away with doing them just nicely, but maybe not realistically. This Insectoid Arms, and they're in this weird drab green, and this is actually a Putrid Press, Crixbane base and Crixbane highlight. And I did it this because I've actually got a converted soul. Well, it's a one of those big monstrous monsters that I've converted one up into a spider, and it's got that kind of green. I wanted to tie it in with the army. In retrospect, I don't really like this color. It's too similar to the armor. It's too similar to here. It doesn't stand out. I'd rather go with black into extreme turquoisey highlights. I mean, some of the colours you've got now, like Stegadon, for Ingy by Darkness, Dark Reaper, Fenrisian Grey, or even the Cyberite colours, you can get really bright, which is a little bit contrasting to what I said. But there's no red on this model as well, so the other option could be to like a lobster, because there is no cloth, there isn't really much blood. So echoes the other models, he hasn't got any red on him, any pinky colour, so it could have been a way to get that in. So maybe I could have executed that better. It's the unit champion from the first unit. One of the things I like on here is this wooden shield. I really love this bit of the model. Again, red cloth, same armour. The red cloth comes in and round. I've done this brown leathering. The wood is done similar to this, but you notice this is a bit redder. This is a bit more desaturated. But I wanted to make the unit look really quite imposing on the table, and I to paint these takes quite a while, but I wanted to make them really cool. And this skin is one of the originals, and I love this little Nurgling poking through. There's a bit of Nurgle's rot in here. I kind of think it ruins it a little bit. A bit of Blood to the Blood God. I'm not overly happy with that. I mean, but it's a gaming army. I'll just move on. Like this here, Nurgle's rot worked really well to get this sort of like slime drip, to blend that into the model. Love this helmet. This helmet is completely impractical. Can't see a thing. It must be what Les is like when he tries to look. But he's got this massive blade coming out the front of his helmet. Can't see a bloody thing. It doesn't need to. He can cinch you out with this thing and swing this. I love it. It's just bonkers. Then I've got my my big bell guy. He's cool. Big pus symbol. Want to really focus on that. I've made this guy a little bit pinker, a little bit more bruised. I kind of think if this is going on, you're going to be a little bit more in pain than the others probably. Again, the bell is that nice metallic. It's got the sort of the greening in there I talked about, and where it's rotted away. I probably should have done more on here. I actually think maybe I missed a trick not doing rust on the weapons. I think that might have actually made the metallic on the weapons look better. Might be something I add in if I go back to the army. I do really want to do a unit of the new, the drone guys, the guys that run on the drone. I'm losing all my words. So the Putrid Blight Lords. So I'd love to do a unit of those. And here, again, metallic head. He's the champion of the new unit. So the horns again maybe could be better. But I actually thought if I darken the tips, they've got these leather straps. Maybe it wouldn't look very good. I kind of like the horns. They're okay. Again, maggot leg. Love that. Lots of spots. Disgusting. But that's my Blight Kings. So I got 2 units of 5, one big unit of 10. Again, if you went to Adepticon, you would have seen those. So one of the things in my Nurgle army that lets it down a little bit are my demons, because they were done long time ago when I was playing the Demon Codex, and they were actually dipped with Army Painter Strong Tone. So these guys I'm really happy with. I think if I have to pick a favourite, it's very difficult. I think it has to be this guy, because he's just, I love the helmet, I love the arm, the blade as well. I really liked how this came out on the blade. So yeah, he's one of my favourites. Love them all for what they are, rightly or wrongly. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this. If you want to see more of my Nurgle army, let me know. If you want to know how I did any of it, let me know in the comments. I'll reply. Yeah, so if you like it, and if you want to see more, give us a sub. Cheers, guys.